Hey YouTube, got another game against the King. We just played a game where he whipped me, so I'll probably be uploading that one as well. So it was Scandinavian, I guess you'll see that. But he's played this knight of 6. Oh, woohoo! The Budapest. I have been sort of enjoying the Budapest lately. Oh wait, we played this first. If you play the knight out first, then they have bishop to c5, which forces you to play e3, and then your bishop is stuck behind the line there. So we want to preserve our pawn structure, so we do not play knight c3. Usually this move comes a little bit later, but it doesn't make any difference. He'll play queen out, we'll go e3, and then he'll capture with one of the knights, and I will take back with the knight, and then play bishop e2, get castled, and then try to take the bishop pair over here. This is the plan. He has to be a little bit careful about moving this knight because of his c-pawn, though not an issue at the moment. Because if he, say he moves the knight to g6, if I take he voluntarily gives me the bishop pair. But I'm saying if I take here on c7, he can play just d6, and his bishop and the pawns cover all my squares, so I wouldn't have, it would get trapped. Anyway, usually they should make me work a little bit harder to win the bishop pair, and he does. But nonetheless, I will take it. So he's going to establish his knight there. I'm just going to bring my rooks to the C and D file and maybe play c5. See if I can leave him with an isolated pawn there, or even win it. Maybe I'm going to play c5 a touch sooner than expected. Or maybe we'll just bring the rook in as we intended. Although he's not actually threatening to take it. Well, he is with the knight, I guess. Yeah, he is threatening to take with the knight. So if he took with the bishop, I could take on e5, and then when he recaptures, take it. But so we'll continue on with our ideas here. Although maybe the immediate c5 did make some sense before I had a chance to do this. Now if I play c5, we'll takes. I can't take back because of the discovery on the queen. So let's move. Let's go here. This looks like a good square. It pins a pawn because his queen is undefended beneath it. The pawn's already kind of stuck because it's defending the knight anyway. So, and I'm threatening to win the b6 pawn. So maybe he'll have to play c6, which is going to make this pawn backward. I think he's already in a little bit of trouble. That's an interesting way of defending the pawn, I guess. It works because now it frees up his, allows his queen to defend the knight. And almost can get a skewer and win the exchange. Almost. Well, let us continue with our plan. Right? Wait, I see some tactical troubles, I think. So push, takes, queen takes, or takes the rook, but then bishop takes at the end. And I think I'm okay, but I should have some pressure against c2 at the end of all that, so let's just do it and see what happens. Rook or the queen? Both of them threaten to win the knight. Threatening his queen and the knight. So he almost has to trade queens now, I think. Luckily, this bishop is defending the rook on d1. Okay, he does it. He didn't have a lot of choice. And I'm not sure how he's going to end up defending c7 here. So we go here. Maybe he'll bring the other rook over. Oh, okay. Oh, and he's going to win that pawn. But that's okay. I'll take here. And if he grabs that pawn, I'll play bishop out to b3. And he'll have some... Oh, he chooses to take my bishop away instead. Obviously, I'll take that. I'll probably bring the rook over. I'll have to go back to c1 because of my back rank problems. Oh, he does not do that. So we're going to take that opportunity to pressurize the f7 square, and then the next opportunity I'm probably going to play g3 just to alleviate any back rank problems. And he's got lots of problems because he can't... This bishop is stuck to b2, and now the rook and the king are stuck to f7, so he doesn't have a lot of moves that he can make. So I'm actually in quite a good position here. Not to mention I have an extra pawn as well. And he's got no way to unpin the f7 pawn, because if he goes to move the king to g7, then the pin is just reversed from the, or shifted from the bishop to the rook. He has... Okay, so he eventually had to do that anyway. So we'll just take, and then we're going to take on... We're going to win another pawn, and maybe even another one. This is okay. We have double connected pass pawns. Must be enough for a victory here. Not to mention my... I just have to make sure I don't get mated. Not to mention his king is what I was saying. His king is stuck against the back rank. So this is this should be a pretty easy win. We shall just begin pawn pushing, right? Which I guess we'll just drag that pawn up the board. Okay, I see what your idea is. Let's take it. He was hoping to play h3 when he was going to be able to renew his back rank issues. So let's come here. And we'll play a5 next, I think. Although I think he can win the b pawn. I think I've kind of left it behind. We shall advance again, right? Or do I want to bring the king over? I think he'll just play b. Nope. He allows me to bring my pawns up together. I was a little bit worried that he was going to win the b pawn, and that it was going to be somewhat tougher to try to achieve that, but he does not do that, so he ends up making it pretty easy on me now, I think. His e pawn is passed, but it's slow in comparison to my b pawn. Not to mention my king can help. So we can just play a6 and b7. I can just play... Yeah, I can just do that and check on the a check and then promote. There's all kinds of ways. If he brings his king up now, then I can promote with check. There's really got no way to stop this. he decides he's going to give some checks, I guess, but those aren't going to last too long. If anything, he's just kind of helping me activate my king. He can have the h-pawn, I really don't care. And you're just helping me win pawns. I guess I'll just go around and scoop them all up, although I should probably find a hiding spot for my rook at some point. I can just advance the rook, actually. I'm going to ignore the g-pawn, it doesn't matter. Just going to approach the rook, and eventually he won't be able to check me. And I only need one tempo. Oop, okay, that's not a bad move. He probably needed to do that. Okay, so let's take a look at this game. Analyze. All right, Budapest. Pretty normal, slightly odd move order here, but that's okay. And yeah, he did this voluntarily. He should not have taken here. He should make me work for it to give me the bishop pair here. So he just sort of makes it easy. And then, like I said, my plan was just to play c5 here, and then try to attack on the c7 pawn, or leave him with an isolated pawn. It's kind of like a minority attack, I guess. Only instead of 2 against 3, it's 3 against 4. Yeah, I was wondering if I could just go ahead and play it here. I think I can, because he can't take it because of this, obviously. And what else is he going to do if I played c5? He can't advance, again, because I'll just take the knight. So instead, I mean, maybe he plays... And maybe he can bring his rook over. But then, yeah, maybe that's what he does. Perhaps I go here? No, because that gives him, he takes, well, maybe this is going to work out for me. I can take here, and the knight is hanging. So yeah, I think this would be okay too, even. So instead of taking, perhaps he could, so after, if I play the queen out, after rook over, queen up, what other options? I guess maybe he could do that, but then again, I'm still going to take here, and he has to take with the pawn because of his issues with the knight. So I think that this was perhaps a better. I think I could have done this a tempo sooner than I did. So I think I missed an opportunity, but instead I brought another rook to the center. And he brought the rook over. Now, if I play this, he can take, and he doesn't have to worry about the bishop because of the tempo. So I think that small inaccuracy there. So I brought the queen out, and this was I thought this was a good move too, because it helped him with some of his problems that he was going to have defending that knight. So I'm going to play c5 anyway. We took, and I ended up with just a really good position out of this. So I didn't see this move, but I'm not so worried about it. So I took here, and I expected him to take here and to try to win the pawn. But after this, actually, maybe that's not so good. To say, I don't know, say he just wants to get the knight back in the game, I can do something like this, and he's going to have a lot of problems on f7. So maybe this wasn't so good for him. Perhaps it was better just to. No, actually, wow, this is pretty bad because he can't go here because of this, and oops, and he can't go instead of putting the rook there, he can't go here because maybe he can actually. Yeah, maybe he can. And I actually have to be careful where I put the bishop because of back rank problems. I think I have to go here. I can't go to f4 because he would take it with the... Oh no, I don't have to worry about back rank because the bishop covers that. But even so, I still think that that's probably the best square. But he'll have to go right back. Interesting. And then maybe I can go here and try to hit the the rook from e7. Anyway, I think that I have good play, and it's similar to the game in this. Instead, he took on f4, which just let me be a pawn up. I think he's wanting to get his... I'm not sure what he's doing there. Just maybe clearing his back rank, but I get pressure, and this should be just a pretty easily winning rook endgame. Perhaps h3 was better. It's hard to say. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. This is pretty easy from here on out. Though I did get a bit worried. I perhaps should not have advanced my pawns the way I did, because I think I lost my b pawn. He just chose not to take it. So if I had done maybe like this, and then so he can say he continues on like we got, and then I play this way and try and advance the pawn that's my rook is not in front of. Try to advance it first and support it with the pawn that is protected. And I think that that was a much better way of doing it than what I did. So instead, I played a4, and well, he can already just take it. He can already just win the pawn, and then it's not so clear at all if I'm gonna win this. So that was a pretty big a4, pretty big mistake on my part. He did not capitalize on it. Instead, we got this, and he let me then just advance that pawn all the way to the end of the board, essentially, and pretty easy from here. I didn't even have to take the pawn. In fact, it might even be faster to win if I don't and just go straight on the rook. But anyway, and here he resigns. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.